Match 1. And keep it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Opponent's got a hammer. Interesting. White source. Protection spell of some kind? No. Okay. Good game, well played. Ran 2 consigns. I think Realm Cloak Giant might be a bit too slow. It's just asking to die. Good creatures get +2/+0, have vigilance, until creature dies, turn it to its other hand. Okay. Go. Untap land would be great. Okay. One hammer is whatever. Alright, one concedes before they even see if they're actually dead. Alright, match one. It's getting kind of the awkward. Human. This last turn. Helps if I actually play the grain source, you know. Certainly a lot of power. Quint. Same result if we had one, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get to copy Trumpeting Carnosaur and then kill him. So I've been trying to find a good sweeper that doesn't get hit by Trumpeting Carnosaur, and I did kind of stumble across Realm Cloak Giant, so his hand is a bit too risky, I think. Yeah, sure, we'll keep this one. Sometimes you have some duds in your deck. It's going to go and pass in case they're holding up I'm not sure if they were holding up something like I can't think of the name of the card off the top of my head. Brave the Elements. Yep. Yeah, Spark Double's like the last thing on the planet they should have named here. Okay, get to hit us for 3 here. Not a huge fan of using this here, but I do want to draw the extra cards off for Keruga, so Yeah, main decking Virtue of Persistence seems to be a good idea against some of these aggro decks. Alright, let's see, and already a mulligan and a bit of a trap because of no payoff. We're going to 5. Take care of their threat. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Oh, yeah, resolved. I'm kind of shocked. Sure, let's copy your.
Ready for another exciting expedition.
Alright, so how am I approaching this all that glitters matchup? No current decks with the finish. Virtual Persistence is at best in this matchup. I mean, like, we could try bringing in Thought Distortion, but it feels like it's too slow. Yeah. Sure. Source, I guess. Okay, do you want to pump effects for... Looks like they might have... Oh. I think getting stuck on land, this is going to be the death of us. I did keep a two-lander that just turned around and It's got some lands. Okay, let me draw. That's kind of entertaining, but also kind of pathetic. We'll try it. Very tap heavy hand. Sure. My opponent, for some reason, taps out this turn. We might have a prayer. But if they even have so much as Spell Pierce, we're just dead. It is what it is. We're dead. Don't know why it took so long to cast that Stubborn now, but you know, this is the kind of deck that is problematic. I mean, it's effectively a tempo combo deck with Stubby D and such. So let's take a look at this version of Quint. This is loosely based on Trisk MTG's latest list that went 5-0 in a Pioneer League a couple days ago. The one huge thing I think was nice was the 4 Virtue of Persistence instead of Bedazzle in the main deck. While instant speed removal can be relevant sometimes with Amalia gone, I think the life gain is a little bit more important at this point. Also gets around protection effects that make things indestructible, so that's kind of nice. Plus gives you another inevitability in kind of long games where, you know, maybe the combo gets disrupted. That said, I also like Herd Migration over Spawnwood's Armadillo, at least from the standpoint of, you know, if you're hard casting these starts against control, this one's a little bit better. Obviously, Spawnwoods is a little bit better against decks that are maybe packing some number of duress against you, but overall I do think both cards are fine. And then the rest of the main deck's just kind of normal thoroughfare. The only thing I will mention is it's almost impossible to hard cast this Clever Impersonator. It's possible it could be better as Release to the Winds, because basically you have the 2 Ketrias and the 1 basic island. Basically the only reason red or blue is in your deck is for some sideboard cards and then for you know, making Leyline Binding a little bit easier. So maybe I should make some slight adjustments to the mana base to try to support that. I mean, you basically got 3 kind of hard to say. Sideboard, one thing, you know, nothing too groundbreaking. I don't know that I've ever seen Realm Cloak Giant in the sideboards. I was looking for a sweeper that wouldn't, you know, be discovered by Trumpeting Carnosaur or Quintorius. You know, some people play Vanquish the Horde. I've seen Doomscar. You know, really, there aren't too many good options for this deck, you know, in terms of sweepers. But the fact that Realm Cloak Giant, you know, is a 5-mana sweeper that you can't discover into is really, really nice in terms of, you know, not screwing up your main game plan while giving access to, say, a turn 4 sweeper with, you know, one of your Tanukis or Giant or Beanstalk Giants. I added a second Plains over, I think there was a deck Bedazzle in the main deck, just to be able to hard cast this in the post-board games more consistently. So I have high hopes for this, you know, finally being a sweeper that is kind of relevant for this deck against the aggressive decks. These Shark Typhoons, I mean, they're fine in terms of, I'd rather have a couple of Dromokas, but Dromoka isn't available yet, so obviously playing Keruga. Consign to Oblivion could be a bit tricky to cast, but I do think the upside of disrupting things at instant speed, you know, being able to bounce a hate permanent that otherwise you might not be able to deal with quite easily. And beyond that, I do think this deck is, I mean, you can figure out the aggressive matchups and you can figure out everything but the Rakdos matchup, which has been reasonable in the past, especially now that they don't have the turn 3, 6/5, and then, you know, basically can kill you on turn 4, turn 5 now. So, anyways, if you like Pioneer and Explore content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you for our next video.